All right, let's look at how to effectively answer this question sent by a recruiter. What's going to be the best answer for each of these questions? So the first question says that, are you currently employed? The best answer is definitely yes. My contract is ending this week, or my contract just ended. So you can say no because it's going to introduce a gap in your resume. That's a big issue, right? The second question, will you be able to devote 20 to 40 hours of your time weekly for CSG? Yes. If not, there's no need you're applying for the job, right? The third question, how much capacity would you consider to refactor? Fix important bugs, explore new technologies or idea. I'm going to put 10 to 20% maximum. Yeah, you want to invest about 80% to do the work or refactor. I'm going to put about 10 to 20%. How do you calculate the capacity and velocity of your team? The capacity, it's calculated by looking at who is available, who is taking time off, and also that kind of, are they full-time or part-time, what time can they come in. The velocity will be determined by the capacity. The velocity is how much work they can take, which is obviously based on the number of the story point they can commit to. And yeah, boom. If it's a new thing, you kind of tax everyone an average velocity of a story point per sprint. If it's an existing team, you check on the velocity chart to see what the team of the velocity. And then when you have the overall velocity of the team and anyone taking absent or so, you simply just subtract one story point per day per person absent. Five, do you have experience working with remote teams? Yes. It's about plugging on computer, facilitating, making sure that you cheer up, encouraging them to turn on their camera whenever possible. On six, how much time do you typically spend organizing your activity as a Scrum Master? I spend about averagely 5 to 10% of my time, right, in organizing my activities, and also, yeah, 5 to 10% of my time organizing the activities, and the rest of the time actually getting into real work. What are the biggest benefits of using Scrum? Fast feedback. We get fast feedback. We're able to pick out errors on time. We're able to communicate with the stakeholders, and if there are changes, we can incorporate it right ahead of time. 8. What unique threat would you bring to our company? I'm bringing my experience of commitment to work and dedicating myself to improving team performance. So I'm bringing that to your team, and definitely the output will be to see a good environment where we have less conflicts and people are happy doing what they're doing. 9. Is velocity a good proxy for productivity? It is, but it needs to be supported by other factors. For instance, if our velocity is high and we have high technical depth, then it's not going to be a good proxy. So velocity is good, but then you cannot rely on velocity alone. You need to be look at the quality, the built-in quality. If the velocity is accompanied by a good built-in quality and happy people working around it, then it's going to be a good proxy. But we cannot just use velocity alone and say, oh, the velocity is high, we have a good team. Okay. 10. Tell me about the project you are most proud of and why. What was your role? Okay, my recent role as a Scrum Master. I work on the project, and on the project we're building an application interface that was helping the company to gain transparency in terms of their sales process, in such a way that if a client put in a purchase, the management could be able to see it, the vendors or the stakeholders and the client themselves, they could be able to track the processes, they could be able to track where there's a limitation along the way, if there are feedback, if they need to respond to every stuff. So it was a project which kind of really helped the company to be able to gain on board new client because of the high level of transparency their purchasing power, their purchasing process was, and they were dealing with medical equipment. So I was proud because of that project, because I was a Scrum Master. I got in and it was quite a new team, and we're able to really kind of get the team formed and get everyone situated and get a kind of really good understanding with the team, get the team to performance. And I would say that before I left, the velocity and the productivity of the team was really, really good. So I would say, wow, that was a project I started from scratch and I was able to navigate with it through the process. 11. What is the most important function of a Scrum Master? The most important function of Scrum Master is to help the team relentlessly improve, to learn from their mistake, and to be able to accept that, oh, we can make mistake, but we need to be able to overcome the mistake by uplifting and by identifying and uplifting what is standing on our way. So the most important function of Scrum Master is to help the team learn from their mistake and to help the team improve on their performance. Uh, 12. Tell me about a time you encounter an impediment during a project. Okay, a time you encounter an impediment during a project. An impediment will be more of maybe not getting along with the product owner or not getting along with the manager, right? So when you come to an impediment, what you want to do is that always make sure your impediment is helping you to fail forward, right? So I encountered an impediment. I got into the team, and when I got into the team, the product owner was more like a developer, lead developer, and they were not really flexible in accommodating the Scrum framework, right? They're like, oh, we this is how we've been doing it for a very long time, and you cannot just come in and bring in Scrum and switch us from hour to story point and actually start helping making us to attend meetings all the days and other stuff, and it was kind of a big challenge. But then what happened is that I actually took some time to build more relationship with them, take some time to buy into what they were doing, and with time while I was collaborating with them, they got to see the value of Scrum, right? By just saying, okay, can we just try this once in a while and see how it goes? And if it doesn't work, it doesn't hurt. We can go back to the stuff. And then they started kind of adopting the daily stand up. Then eventually they were able to buy in all of the processes, and we ended up a happy team. Okay, 13 says that this role requires superb communication skill. Can you provide me with example of relevant communication experience you had in your previous job? Yeah, setting up all my calendars and reaching out to everyone that need to participate in the meeting before the meeting and following up after the meetings if there are follow-up communication. That's what I do. Also using Teams to make sure that I stay in constant communication with all my team members was also a way I communicated. 14. How well do you handle multitasking? Yeah, multitasking can somehow be challenging, especially when you don't prioritize them. I would say what the key for me to handle multitask is about knowing what I need to do right ahead of time and being able to handle them and being able to prioritize them and being able to know which one is of more business value and getting them done. So long as I can plan them into my schedule, it will not be a hindrance for me to handle them. And 15 says, how long would you expect to work for us if hired, and how much will you request per hours if you hire? Now, this is a tricky question. As long as you are open to, I like permanent position because they give me the flexibility to learn and grow. As per the hourly rate, I'm definitely open to what you hire, what you're offering. Yeah, I'm definitely open to what you're offering. My biggest goal is to look for competitive position. So if you have a competitive position, I'm willing to offer higher that. Now, if they really need you to give a price a rate to this, you can say, okay, I can work within a range of about, let me say, $65 to $100, depending on where you fall. So you give them a range and let them pick. Okay. Now, as a Scrum Master, is a Scrum Master is a facilitator who ensures that the Scrum team follow the process that they agree to follow. The Scrum Masters careful, remove obstacle and distraction that may impede the team from meeting their goals. This individual is a liaison between Scrum team and the people and team outside the Scrum team. Can you handle all of these duties effectively? Yes, I can handle it. All right. We just scratched all our questions from the reviewer, from the hiring manager, and we're submitting it back to the hiring manager, and we're hoping for good news. Okay. All right. Let's go get it.